Hello, Henry Lowengaard again with a little bit more of Erae's API interface stuff. You've seen a little of this before. I've been working on it and refining it with some stuff. So I've got a little web app that runs all the API interpretations. That is to say, signals from here, goes off to the web app. The web app spits it either back to the Erae or it spits it to a synthesizer that's running on the side on a different channel. Yeah. So we've got this guy. I have made up another typeface here. It's a little difficult to see maybe, but it's just note names with the kind of abstract thing. They're smaller than these so that I can maybe squeeze them in where I need to put a note name for stuff. So that was like my flat symbol, and that's my sharp symbol. It doesn't look like a sharp too much. It looks like a square, but there you go. And then I've got some simplified octave numbers here. So I can put up a note name if I need to see a note name. I could probably, well, anyway, I could also make a skinny numeral thing out of the same typeface that I made up here. This thing, you see, is pretty big and it takes up a lot of room. I'm trying to take up as little room as possible, but when you only have, 42 by 24, that's not many pixels. All right, let's stop that one. Over here, this is the same thing. That's just the same. It's just drawing these anti-alias lines. They're so low res that they're almost useless. We've got this, the virtual autoharp. And this is running with a synthesizer that's inside the web app. It's just some sine waves. It's a little, because they're not complicated and they don't really have a tax, you hear a lot of noise when it changes notes. But you get that, or you get these minors. And if you push hard, you get the, you get minor seventh. Now, I have been playing with, I probably can't really see it, but here is like the sensitivity is actually not super sensitive. It's just normal safe. But what I am playing with is the relatively new velocity curve. And I've got a velocity curve that says, even if you're small, that if you don't have much pressure, pretend you have more pressure. So it cranks it up a little, makes it more sensitive. Isn't that nice? It is. It's extremely nice. Alrighty. What do we have here? Oh, we've got this. This is a synthesizer. It's actually using it's using a little model. It's not a very sophisticated model to do the synthesis underneath. So I'm actually changing two parameters, but you can barely hear, how important that is. It says I'm running 11 oscillators simultaneously, and now when they run out, it's back to 0. You can run a whole bunch of these. It's running 61 oscillators now, but most of them are so quiet you can't hear them. So I may replace the synthesis algorithm under here with a wavetable player, and that means I can literally build a version of my app Synthicity itself, which is a really fun app, but it could run on this in a, see how sensitive this is? I just barely need to tap this. Excellent. So that's really fun. Watch it die out. Yeah. What do we have here? Oh, here are a whole bunch of buttons. There are people who play samples all day. This is running off to a MIDI synth in the background. In fact, it's my favorite chromophone. Polyphonic. A little bit of that going on. It's not really MPE because I'd have to put some more logic in it, but I could certainly make an MPE. But there's a limit on buttons that this thing can normally put out. 48 zones. Clearly, I am exceeding that number by several dozen. And this layout is confusing and hard to play with, so I have some alternate layouts like this one. Here they're offset by 1. You can barely tell, so that's almost useless. Here's one where it's 16 by 8. So now you have the 128 MIDI notes available in a straightforward path. I have a kind of a color scheme. That's a really high C. It's there. It means I have a whole bunch of buttons. Ideally, I could have every spot on the screen here. Every button on the screen could be a note number and a channel. And then I could use that note number channel information to do something. So I'm just trying to do some layouts. Here's another one that's a little more 12 note to the octave oriented. So now you can visualize it a little better. Now the octaves are right on top of each other. It's a little far apart though. Turns out that the spacing on this, you know, if you have a 3x3 button or a 4x4 button, your hand really has to stretch if you ever actually want to play something that is like on a real piano keyboard. That's no good. So I came up with this. It's a little hard to read, but and this spacing is the same, more or less. A little hard to read. C's are here, you know, or I should say C's are here, F's are here. I guess I could make the left half of the key light on the dark ones and dark on the light ones to help delineate where these keys begin and end. But they do have slightly different colors. You can make them radically different, which might help. I'm just trying to figure out a good strategy to get around the problem that there's just so few pixels here to work with. If this had twice the density, that would really give me a lot of flexibility. But it's pretty good. So it's not too bad. But it's a good thought experiment to see what is the best way to express a key layout. That's more or less your basic black and white key layout, but in a way that would fit your hand spacing and the number of bulbs that I have to work with. And so that's, you know, the API work that I've been doing. I, you know, changed a few other things around here. Oh, that's the autoharp. I added a button to the autoharp. Here, I'll crank up the autoharp. And we'll see about that. Just do that. We'll say, how about this? Yeah, this version of it. Oh, that's not this version of it. Nope. Ha. Oh, it's probably somewhere hiding somewhere else. Yeah, this is like another version of this. This is like the standard version of what a keyboard looks like. You see that there are four light bulbs wide, whereas mine is only 2 light bulbs wide. Much better. Anyway, that's my I clearly have found a bunch of patches that are a little ridiculous. Ooh. Yeah, nothing like, you know, a dental drill as your instrument. Anyway, that's all for now. Next time, I'll see you later.